How's everybody doing for the afternoon session? What's up, Nacho? How you doing? Good to see you. Tipped? Oh, uh-oh. The Bears are in the mist. The Bears are in the mist. I'm so tipped. I apologize for that. How you doing, Tipped? You doing all right? Ready for the holidays? Well, if Tipped is here, then the Bears are a prowl. I'm hoping I bring the silent rally. I hope the Riz makes it to new heights. I'm actually stuck in that position right now. Um, Being X removed it from their trading, so my coins are stuck in limbo right now. So unless the coin gets relisted, I can't do anything with it. I can't even withdraw it. I was like, anyways, anywho.
Have you guys been hearing?
No, we have not heard you. Hey, Becky, how you doing?
I have been talking for about 6 minutes to no one.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? For lack of attention to emails, because they did send out an email, and I knew they did. I do recall them saying that they were going to delist the coin, and I don't know. I should have taken it out. So now, I have no idea. I just got to kind of wait. Who knows? Maybe in 10 years, Rismus will be worth $1 million, and my million coin holding, or 11 million coin holding, will be worth something. I'll be rich, miss. BTC about to break down. You know what? Let's take a gander over there. Oh, man. I've been watching Ethereum all morning. You know what? It does. It's at that bear flag or bull flag, testing the lower side of it, lower side of that.
Hey, Coach Riz.
Hey there. Hey, Coach Matt.
Hey. It's a party now.
There we go.
Gosh, I am so sorry. I was chatting away and with my screen share a few minutes ago, and I didn't realize I was still on mute. I am getting my life back. Sorry, guys.
It's all good. It's all good. Hey, teamwork makes the dream work here.
Yeah, true story.
What is up, team? How's everybody doing? Riz, Becky, team?
Hey.
Coach Matt, good to see you. Good to hear you here in VC.
Who picked up Ethereum today? I did. That's it.
Tell us about it.
Wow. Okay. You're bullish.
Finally got it.
Yeah, my portfolio is looking pretty green today with me just holding. I've been accumulating an Ethereum position since last week slowly.
Oh, nice. The silver pump, I could have every other position red, and the silver pump would have me green today.
She's so strong. Beautiful breakout.
I can't believe it went so fast. Will it stop, though, is the better question, though.
Silver?
Yep.
Not 61.
Yeah, she's past that and holding.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have a philosophy. When you're in open air, you allow momentum to play out. And as long as the momentum stays fine, don't question. We've had momentum for a while now on silver, had a high base, that's a momentum pattern, had a breakout, that's a momentum breakout, big candle, that's a momentum candle. Don't question it. Just let it go. And ultimately, Riz, like I'll get in and out of silver because I'll both position trade it and swing trade it.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see 80 here. And I know that's shocking when anybody who knows how silver moves, that's kind of shocking. But there's things happening from a geopolitical macro perspective that I don't think a lot of people understand that's impacting the metal classes.
I mean, from the overnight session and now we had a $3 move on it. So, us moving another, $6 obviously now seems very feasible. Just, needs the right catalyst. But then again, gold had its moment to shine as well. Gold had a serious run here in the past year, so this might be the breather that silver
Well,
needs, and especially being so cheap,
well, silver's not cheap right now. It's literally at the highest it's ever been. What I'll say is I don't think people give silver the respect in the AI build out that silver deserves because on the number one technological build out in the history of mankind, where more sovereign governments are putting more money in infrastructure projects regarding technology, that you can't develop any of it without copper, silver, and the industrial metal classes. Yeah, I kind of feel like, and I'm not just talking today. I've been involved in silver from the honestly quite a low price.
Do you correlate silver and gold pretty closely or treat them as separate instruments that sometimes move in correlation?
Silver moves more with cyclical and economic activity than gold does. Gold moves on fear-based bids. Silver gets puked up on fear-based bids, and so I don't think it's appropriate to cross compare gold versus silver. I mean, they're both been great asset classes this year, but I think the one thing I do look at when it comes to silver and gold is the GS ratio, and that does play a little bit of a role. But at the end of the day, a guy by the name of Mike Maloney said something one time that kind of stood out to me. He's like, I believe in diversification, so own both.
Yeah, there you go.
But no, I don't use the exact same analysis on gold as I do silver.
Right. Okay, cool.
Silver's more cyclical based, gold's more defensive, fear based. The GS ratio hit 69 today. Yeah, that silver pump. It's real. That thing was in the high 80s earlier. Now,
Beautiful.
I will argue the GS ratio, which is the gold to silver ratio, was more advantageous historically than it is moving forward, but I still look at it.
Yes, NQ and YM continue to consolidate ahead of tomorrow's FOMC.
Yeah, a little calm before the storm, pent up, coiling like a snake here.
Yep. That's exactly how it feels. Scalping within the range, but waiting for the big fundamental hit tomorrow to see where she's going to break.
Do you guys want to know what's going to end this great silver run?
Yes.
I already know.
Tell us.
Who here wants to know what's going to end the great silver run?
Who's in? Not
They
Joe?
will force speculators to get out by raising margin requirements to hold silver on the CME. That will stop the great silver run.
The physical
That would just
item?
be cold.
Yeah. They will absolutely do it.
How does
Once
that play
Wall Street decides this trade's too heavy, they're going to absolutely kick out the retail. And the way they kick out the retail is the increased margin requirements on silver holdings in the commodity market. They've done it many times, by the way. This won't be the first. But in the last great run up in silver back in 2011, August 7th of 2011, Jamie Dimon went over to the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and made a deal with the Chicago Mercantile Exchange to raise margin requirements on gold, silver, and copper holdings. They increased margin from 5 to 50,000, kicked out every retail. Gold got smoked for months and months. Silver got smoked for months and months and months. Went from 50 back down to the low teens. And then Diamond started acquiring again.
Where do you think that threshold is in this current state?
Honestly, it's not at 61.
No. Yeah.
I haven't been hearing any chatter of it. I've been I got my ear to the ground, and I'm obviously on the lookout because it is something that I do think about. But I haven't heard any inkling of it, and there's not a lot of thought process to that right now. And I kind of feel like it's going to be hard to pull something like that off right this very second because there's so much demand right now. Like there is demand is off the charts right now in silver holdings. In fact, the dealer I deal with on the Chicago Merc, he was a market maker for years and years and years. His name was Pete Thomas. He's retired, but he now runs just kind of a coin shop. He was like the head commodity trader for the Chicago Merc, and then he ran the precious metals division for Zahner's Precious Metals. And then basically after he got done with that, he retired. I've known Pete for 15 years. Great guy, just great guy. And he was telling me the other day, it's hard for him to even get silver right now.
Wow. Shifting, getting momentum.
He keeps screaming at me to buy cobalt, though. I'm like, no. I don't even know how to buy cobalt. Like, you got to go buy the physical. Tomorrow. Yeah, nothing to see there.
Played a little bit today. The scalper's market.
That's right. I was thinking the same thing. Hey, Ron, so was Becky.
Yep. My girlfriend and I used to call it a confetti party when you would turn on our fill some days and it was like it just lit up.
Yeah, we're going to make that doji sexy one way or the other.
Like there's a hue behind it. Yo, I've been there. I can't judge. Looks like those are in the right direction though. Looks like you bought and sold and accumulated.
Becky and Reese, I got a question for you guys. Because tomorrow when we're having this conversation, obviously the Fed's going to be, out there in the market. Do you guys do anything special on Fed Day? Do you plan anything on Fed Day? Do you plan around Fed Day? How do you both of you kind of handle Fed Day? Is it just another day, another data point? Just kind of give me your thoughts there.
You want to go first or me, Riz?
Let's any meaning mo catch time by the toe. If you always make pay. Riz.
Yep.
All right, myself. I like to start my morning off early. Get a early start on the day so I can get ahead of the news and start looking over different social media feeds that I follow. So that way, I'm kind of like, in tune with what's dropping because certain news feeds I follow drop different bits. and just to kind of see if I can see a spike or move in any particular market. Then usually I'll start looking at the options chain in the morning, trying to see where the tilt is. That's kind of the way my morning will go, so that I can kind of see how the market is hedged. Then I start basing my trades off of that. Of how, reviewing the overnight low from London, overnight high, where we are relative to the open, and then start trying to create a game plan of where I want to get in and where I can see the least amount of risk and the best amount of reward.
So you do a lot of prep.
I do a lot of prep. I do a ton of prep
Yeah, a lot of
work,
prep.
because I know we're going to have exaggerated wicks.
More,
the
more
other,
so than normal, would you say?
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Becky? Fed day. You throw a
Yeah.
party, you do anything different? What's your
I
thought?
do something different. I love Fed Day. I actually back tested it for years. I have pages and pages of back testing data on FOMC Day, and I used to trade the opening push of it, but then I got a little bit wild with it, so I backed away from that, and now I will trade after it settles a little bit and more towards when the meeting starts and it starts to get into the heart of the energy behind what is going to happen to the country, and so I usually
Yeah.
will find my best trading setup between 11:30 and 11:45 Pacific Standard Time. So like a half an
Mhm.
hour in
So after
to
the
the
policy
news.
statement, press conference is starting, and
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then I do the same thing as Coach Riz is I draw my levels out pretty intentionally, and I draw them wide. Like I'll do, not I will do my closer levels as I will for normal days volatility, but I'll also do extended levels based on the larger time frames, because we will often see outsized movements and we'll go to those further extreme liquidity zones. And so I like to have those marked, because if I get in a trade that's running, I want to have ideas on all sides and in great distances on where it could go to be ready too. So a lot of prep work, and then when that opportunity sets up around when the essence of the meeting gets rolling, then I like to find my best trade opportunity at a pivot point in there and take a good piece.
Yeah, you and I, on that side of the equation, Becky, are actually very, very. We have a lot in common there. I used to, like you, trade the initial release on Fed Day. Treat it like a K trade scenario, be aggressive. But that was also before algorithms dominated every short-term pricing and price everything in a matter of a microsecond. And so I don't love trading the initial release of the report. In fact, I will say this right now. I think most of the time the initial price response is not a real price response on the release of the policy statement.
Yeah.
I think it's oftentimes just volatility burning in the market. But I do like what you said about like 30 to 45 minutes later,
Yeah.
the market starts settling down right as we start getting into the press conference.
Yeah.
And the press conference is usually where the market will pick a trend, because the press conference, we already know what the policy statement's going to say.
Right.
Like there's nothing in that policy statement. The only debate I want to have on the policy statement itself is how many words are changed this time versus last time. And if anybody has an over under above 13 words total changing in the entire policy statement, I'll take the under, because they just don't do that very often. They don't make a ton of modifications on the policy statement. We know they're going to cut, which means if they don't, we're going to get a shock price movement. I don't want to trade that shock price movement. So most things be relatively equal. They're going to cut. Policy statement comes out. We're reading the policy statement. There's 12 words different. Nothing's really changed. And all we're really seeing so far is algorithms trying to understand the policy statement. So for me, I'm right there with you, Becky. I kind of like that 30 to 45 minute later, because we start getting into the press conference and you start to kind of see Powell's demeanor. And I really do mean that. If Powell's wearing a purple tie tomorrow, that's going to tell me something, and I'm not even kidding. And so I like to see kind of his body language, honestly, because Powell's Powell is all about messaging. Right now, I don't know if he has principles. It's all about messaging.
Right.
And so we're going to know pretty, if no tie, retiring. I agree. I agree. If that man has no tie on, I'm going to die laughing. I will die laughing because that man will have checked out. He knows he's got 5 months left and he's like, longest vacation ever.
Already
Longest
endless tweets
vacation
about the
ever.
tie.
Oh man, that would be hilarious. I would die. I would die, RQ. Yeah, don't have no tie. Um, if he walked out with no tie, we're going to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. Like that's the moon
Full
shot.
port. Wait.
Yeah, throw it all out there, borrow RQ's money, and let's go. Yep, yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
There's so
So
many like news, there's so much like hype around it, but like you said, I mean the information has been leaked and we have a general idea about what's going to happen to the economy. And so for me, I lean into what I found from my back testing is that there's a technical edge to it that
yeah,
doesn't really change based upon the actual information that they say all that much. There's a consistent pattern sometimes within the market and the way it bounces, the way the first initial move is often a fake out, and the way that the wicks are reacting from supply and demand. And so I kind of have leaned into the fundamentals should give me a bit of a bias, but not so much enough of a reason to enter or exit a trade. But more so, it just gives me some background information. But then I just trade technically and when that happens because I want to see where we're reacting to, not so different from a regular day, but different in a way that the volatility is such that you have to manage your risk differently. The candles will just be bigger. And so you have to downsize or trade certain accounts appropriately. And so I adjust my strategy for sure in terms of leverage. And then I trade, my actual view on the market pretty similarly
yeah.
with it.
The amazing thing is you're absolutely right that those initial candles are going to be very large, as they often are on Fed Day.
Yeah.
But the weird part about that is the intraday on Fed Day, and I want to see if you agree or disagree with this, Becky, because you got back testing on this one. In my experience, on Fed Day, the intraday is more volatile than almost a lot of other economic reports.
Yeah, 100%.
But by the end of the day, like the daily candle is not an oversized candle.
Yes, which is
We
shocking.
might have oversized wicks.
Yes.
Because the intraday volatility is real. But that usually doesn't mean we get a sizable movement on the day in, day out basis. In fact, most of the time we underperform expectations on that. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh my God. And I really thought in my back testing, it would prove to me it would be the biggest candle on a chart if you're looking at a daily chart. Like I thought
Less than
that's
average,
what I
isn't it?
expected. It's not true at all. Like what you just
Yeah.
said is the truth. That the body size of that candle's daily candle at the end is generally not even noticeable when you look
Yeah.
at the chart from a bird's eye view.
You can't point to a Fed day on the chart.
Yes.
Now I can point to one because it just
Yeah.
so happened to put the tippity top into the marketplace. I was very, very displeased with JPAL that day. But
There's exceptions.
like that's the one I can point to. And then like that was on October 30th, for example. But like usually you can't go back in time and be like, oh, you see that big old candle? That was a Fed day.
Definitely. Yeah.
Like no, those big old candles you can see like from if you were on the
liquidity days
International Space Station, you could still see those candles. Those are
Yeah.
black swan events. Those are news coming into the market that has to get priced in. Fed day, it's like you couldn't see it. So I do find that fascinating.
Same.
But what I've also found is that the next candle is oftentimes an oversized candle.
Yeah.
And so what I have found is being too aggressive during the actual release of the policy statement. I don't think you'd be too aggressive during the initial release of the policy statement. I think you can start to become a little bit more aggressive during the press conference, especially from a scalping perspective, because the market will move based on how Powell answers questions. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
That's why oftentimes we kind of finished less than expected because Powell will answer one thing. Mark's like, ooh, pump, pump, pump. Powell will then answer another thing. Oh man, Powell, you suck. Sell, sell, sell.
Mhm.
And so what I do find though is once the market does kind of figure it out, and you start getting those talking heads talking about kind of what this means about the future and the path of the policy, not in December, but at the end of January, you typically get a little bit more consistency in the overnight session that oftentimes bleeds into the next day. That's the number one thing I do see about Fed Day versus almost any other economic report is I don't see it as an economic report that gets priced into the market and then we just move forward. I see it as an event. I see it as an event that takes about 24 to 36 hours to properly price in everything.
And to that point, I think it's often can represent a pivot area in the market as well, because like we're seeing right now in the ES&Q that we're having consolidation for a week and a half leading up to this event. And so there's hesitation on both ends waiting to see. And so I think tomorrow will give us information and can be a good setup potential information for the next big move. So exactly that is that the big move might not happen within the intraday event moment, 2 hour period, but it could be it should provide really good information for potential momentum from here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think scalpers and algos are the ones that dominate the first like hour after the release, including the press conference.
Yeah.
I think the more traditional day traders kind of like it as it gets smoothed out
Yeah.
and we start to see, real levels, real trends, real price,
Yeah.
situations like that.
And I just take it
Appreciate
as
the
a
detailed
snippet, to be
answers though,
honest.
guys.
Huh. I don't even trade open on FOMC day. I try to save my mental capital for I just rest and I focus on my kiddos in the morning and for me, if I know that I want to have some interest in trading once the session gets going and the press conference gets underway, then I don't really want to have any carryover from a morning trading session. Like I will
Yeah.
prioritize when I want to trade in a day, if it's market open or if it's an event situation such as FOMC day. And I will structure my day around that because I think if you're trying to do anything with higher volatility, you want to make sure that you are as on point as you are. And I'm still kicking this cold, so if I'm still feeling not great tomorrow, I might abstain totally or just trade like a sim or something. But I think
Yeah.
recognizing the fact that there is higher volatility, the candles are larger, your risk will be higher. That's something that if you want to have interest in it, definitely consider that in your trade plan for that period.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I do find the positioning technically going into Fed Day fascinating this go around. RSP setting right underneath the multiple time frame resistance. That thing has just stood out to me, just very clean. SPY is sitting right underneath the multiple time frame resistance.
Yeah.
Q's a little bit underneath that level, but markets want Santa. Like, do you guys agree with that? That the market is begging for Santa?
There's a lot
I
of
can't
Yes,
go
they
anywhere
are.
without somebody asking me if Santa coming to the market. Market's begging for Santa. Market's begging for the breakout. Market needs help to break out of those resistance levels. They need a catalyst. Can the Fed be that catalyst?
Yeah, we've essentially had kind of almost a triple top between end of October and early to mid-November. And now again, we're back in that resistance area again, like you said. And so the fact that we're holding up here, a catalyst could definitely throw us beyond it, or it could be the third time's the charm and it's going to sink. So but
Yeah,
Santa,
I
it's
agree with
in
that.
sync with the mid-December is Santa.
Um, Tips. I can't describe how much I agree with what you just said. Before 2009 or late 2008, the Fed wasn't that. They're not supposed to be that. They're not supposed to be the big time catalyst. They're supposed to be kind of work behind the scenes a little bit, but that's not the case any longer. The Fed was the number one catalyst. Well, let's just be real. Ever since they embraced global synchronized growth in 2010, the central banks have been the only true catalyst in the market. From that point on, the only thing that really truly matters is the M2 rate. I think that's sad too. His tie, purple tie, tells me something.
So much data to be gathered tomorrow. I think you have said it in a couple of your things that I've heard from you as well, Matt, that when we have these consolidation periods, it allows the market to rest and settle upon the EMAs that it has broke above with the bull run
Mm-hmm.
of 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. Now it has been able to settle out a little bit and settle on top of those EMAs, and so now it's off. It can be a prime jumping opportunity for the momentum up.
Consolidation can be treated as a correction, and it's and basically what time consolidation can do, it can alleviate overextension is what it can do. And I think what you say is kind of on my mind here, because you look at the last two days of the low price. Well, guess what's right there? That 9 EMA.
Yeah.
That 9 EMA now has caught up to the price, and it's not because the price came to it. It's because the 9 EMA caught up through that consolidation. And a lot of times when I see that, it does become a go time scenario. Like, I have really thought the consolidation has been good, but at this point, with the 5 EMA above price and the 9 EMA at price, it's a decision point for the market. It really hasn't been, the market hasn't been forced in a decision for the last 7 trading sessions. It's now at a decision point. There's levels that the market that have caught up to the market that is going to put a lot of pressure on the price. That 9 EMA is the number one support level from a momentum perspective in the market. And so if the market bucks against the 9 EMA, you're going to start to see a little bit further weakness. The 9 EMA, as it catches up, starts flatlining. You now only have a 50-point range between the 9 EMA and 6,900. That's really tight from a daily support to a daily resistance level. And so you don't have a lot of leeway here, from support to resistance on the daily chart, which means the market is in front of a catalyst tomorrow, has very tight ranges. Markets feeling like it wants to spring a little bit.
Yeah. I love how the EMAs are the dynamic support too, like it's
Yeah.
good that it will show that price can shove above or below them. And then a reset period will allow it to kind of get that support back under itself and stabilize out a little bit. And so it's so important to watch those dynamic support and resistances, because they can give really good opportunities that are not as obvious on a static chart.
Amaro, how many reports are getting canceled per the current administration? More than I can count right now. Tipped, how many reports can you trust that are being currently produced by past or present administrations? The answer is 0. The one thing I will say about it is, up until recently, I would have said that is the exact same scenario with every economic system around the world. Every economic system and their reporting structure is a snapshot of the truth. It's not complete truth. For example, you have survey data in labor market data. There's going to be lag periods. There's going to be inaccuracy. That's why we have revisions. And some of those revisions have been like legitimately lights out ridiculous. 900,000, 500,000 job revisions, both in the last 2 years, for example. And so I don't trust the 100% accuracy on any economic report, but up until the last couple months, I would have always said I trust U.S. economic data far more than I trust any other economic data out there. And that's what I think is concerning a little bit right now, is there is not just me, there's Wall Street institutions that are questioning the data right now. And I don't think the current administration understands the importance of getting that data out there.
They've got to renormalize the data sharing and reinstate some confidence in the government being like open and realistic with this and reliable again, because there's a lot of mistrust right now and they need to restabilize that.
Stop playing with the data, just release it. Stop
Yeah.
trying to message the data, just release it. Stop trying to gaslight the data, just release it. Just release the data.
We'll see how it goes down tomorrow. Oh, God.
Steve. I can't cough too much today, Steve. I got a cold. I can't do that.
You gotta make us cough.
I can't do that today. That is
That's in
hilarious,
history. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be the best day ever. All you need to do is just trust us. Just go for it. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah, on
Yeah,
point.
yeah. I
That's
do
the state
believe
of the
they
American
hired that
government.
guy, and then that guy got fired. That's funny right there, though.
That's perfect. Federal
But no,
announcement Sunday.
to answer the question, I don't trust any of the economic data that comes out as the truth of the market. What I do trust is that the market takes that data as the truth of the market. And I hope that makes sense. And that's what's being questioned right now. And that's what has to get fixed. Because the economic data is if anybody truly believes the inflation that we really deal with in America is only 3%, that's not the real inflation rate that people in America deal with.
Yeah.
It's higher than that. If you believe the real unemployment number is 4.4% right now, man, oh, I got some space up in space to sell you some data centers. Because that's not the real unemployment report. That is just the report of people that are receiving unemployment benefits. Well, there's millions and millions and millions of other people that are still out of the workforce, out of the labor force, but now they're no longer receiving benefits and they're just not counted. And so it's not the truth of the situation. When you look at PMI numbers, like those are surveyed reports, they're going to be a snapshot of the environment. And I've always trusted that that snapshot was more accurate on US reports than I have any other reports. But again, the market takes those reports for what the truth of the economic situation is.
Well, and please correct me, however, but I think that there was a time when the government numbers that they released was as absolutely accurate as the information could be obtained, and it had an appropriate reaction in the stock market. But I think in
Mhm.
recent years, it has been skewed and manipulated so much that politics has had a stronger handle than the data. And it matters less what the real numbers are, what the numbers that are put out are, what the actual information is, as it matters that
Yep.
there's an event that's going to cause some movement. And so I think people more so will just want to trade hype versus the actual information. I think it's kind of almost a dumbing down of the situation with the government where it does the numbers, whether they're true or slightly skewed, are less appropriate to the actual movement that we see because people just don't factor it in logically as
Yeah.
much as I think it once was.
I think you do nail the head there, just given the fact that political messaging has now become a part of economic reporting.
Right.
And I kind of feel I understand why they message around it because nobody wants to have a real conversation on what happened with inflation from 2020 to 2024. I understand why they message on it with the labor market right now because nobody wants to have a real conversation on what really is happening from an AI perspective and how it's impacting the labor force. Um, and they message because they feel like America can't handle the real conversation. And I just think they make a mistake there. I think they make a mistake. I think America is begging for somebody to come in and have an honest, truthful conversation about what's happening in our economic ecosystem. Have an honest conversation about what's happening with AI and the labor force. Have an honest conversation with what's happening, how inflation got into the market, why it was sticky, why we're having a hard time getting out of it, and and build plans to get around it. But they don't want to do that because they don't think they will get elected in the first place. And so it's a problem right now. But personally, I feel America just wants to have truth
Right.
from an economic perspective. Like, and maybe I'm just projecting because I'm so sick of the gaslighting economically. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Would be great if that could be the greater sentiment and it takes a turn back, and gets more reliable and structured as I think it is intended. But
Yeah. Well, I'll give you one data point on it.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that right now, today, college graduates have the exact same ability to get hired as a high school graduate does right now? Like, there's legitimately no economic difference between if you have a high school diploma and you have a college diploma. None.
Wow. I didn't know that was the current
60%
stat.
of
Dang.
recent college graduates can't find full-time employment. 60%.
That's special.
Why? Well, it's because companies and corporations aren't hiring new people. And they're not
Mhm.
hiring new people because they are basically saying we can produce the same amount of work, the same amount of output without the input because AI. Well, and specifically, it's not robots tomorrow. Robots will come for blue collar down the road, but it's not. AI is hitting white collar work far more aggressively than it's hitting blue collar work right now.
Yeah,
Because
that's
where's
true.
all the AI development on? It's all on service. It's all in the financial
The
space, for
networks,
example. It's in the technological space.
programming.
It's in the marketing space. It's in programming.
Yeah.
For 10 years, everybody said, go become a programmer. And now nobody needs programmers because Salesforce, for example, 50% of everything that is developed at their company is based on AI right now. Right now at Facebook or Meta, 30% of all programming done at Meta right now is done through algorithms. Mark Benioff gave an interview the other day, and he had a bunch of managers who were telling their people not to use AI because they were scared they were going to get laid off. And Benioff's like, no, I want AI in at every aspect of my company. And so the recent college graduates aren't in demand as much because the companies aren't hiring because recent college graduates, you don't need them to produce the same output right now. Tib, I honestly agree with it.
Those are the skills that can't be replaced yet.
Not yet.
It will though.
In time. But right now, like in time, it could be 10 years, could be 20. Who knows what that in time means? If you listen to Elon, he says the next 5 years. You listen to other people, they 10 to 20 years on that robotics evolution. But whether it's 10 or 20 years, we know it's coming. And the sad part is, so do our politicians, and they're too busy yelling at each other to try to fix a proper solution here.
I don't think that the information has made it to enough American families that are still sending their kids to college because they think it's the right thing. But if you're sending your kids to college for a business degree, like that's going to be a whole lot of debt and an oversaturated market where they are hiring, like you said, less and less and less in that industry where you think it used to be like a springboard where you could do a million different things with these finance and business in general degrees. But now they're just like, it's just a loss and it's a debt that you're emerging with and without a tradable skill. There's certain things that will always like welding and craftsman and healthcare and hardware engineer type of things for now, but it's definitely shifted, and I think that's to the detriment of all the current and more recent college students that I think didn't got the memo too late,
Well,
kind of deal.
think about it like this. A law degree. If you're a recent college graduate with a law degree, if you're a law firm hiring, do you need to hire the same amount of lawyers to do the same amount of research right now? Because
No.
that's what junior associates do. They do all research.
Right.
No,
Shoot, it's a Google search can produce that data in seconds.
no. These AI programs at those legal firms, they have
Mhm.
every case plotted in the algorithm,
Right.
in the AI platform. Every
Dang.
case known to man, every single one. Pull up any precedent you want from any state in a heartbeat. Do you know how long it would take a junior associate to do that 20 years ago?
Months.
Months.
Hmm.
Months to go through all of that. I know because I was that law grad at one point.
We're not going to
Like,
lose you back to law, are
what?
we, Matt?
Oh, hell no. Are you kidding me? If there's one thing law school taught me, it's I didn't want to be an attorney. But I just couldn't imagine like being in law school right now
Man,
and faced with that and knowing that is not coming, but it's here. And I
right.
think you can do that with almost any other advanced degree right now.
Dang. Make me rethink my kiddos, man. There's a lot of trade schools too, which I hopefully will keep getting more strength behind them, for electricians and plumbing and welding and that is a strong business for people that dig in and want to be the best in those fields.
Well, congratulations on that LSAT. I take back almost everything I said about law school.
Oh,
No, I kid.
it's an
I'd struggle
opportunity.
with my own kids, honestly.
Yeah. It's important to sort out, you want to give them
Yeah.
the best like place to move forward from, but it's fluctuating right now in a big way.
I'll never say education and knowledge is a bad thing, but I do think taking on loads of debt to get one of those advanced degrees it's more about the debt people go into. It's not about the education. It's
Right.
really not, because we're going to need critical thinkers that are lawyers. We're going to need good people that are lawyers. We're going to need people to represent other people. Like we're going to need lawyers. There's no doubt about that. It's the debt that's the problem. You can't justify going into the same amount of debt today as you could 15, 20 years ago because you knew there was going to be a good paying, consistent job on the outcome. And so the debt was, taking on debt in that scenario made logical sense to some degree. I don't think it makes sense anymore to take on $200,000 to $300,000 in debt to go compete in that environment.
And colleges are charging more than ever. Every year they inflate at a significant rate and it's not
Because
getting a
they're
return.
private businesses.
Right. Right.
That's going to happen more and more and more, KK. Oh yeah, it's going to happen more and more. Massive demand on all of those craftsman type labor jobs. Massive demand. Like you want to talk about, we can talk till the cows come home about the weakness in the labor market. Well, that aren't on some of them.
Yeah, field support services, stuff like that. That's what's going to thrive.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting time.
Sure. Is anyone caught in the scalping mess right now on the charts? I hope not.
No,
I'm
I'm
watching
not.
the candles print and it's like paint dry.
Just fade, fade, fade.
We
Mm-hmm.
can't even the 15-minute candles are on top of each other. On NQ
Yeah.
especially.
Yeah, they stuffed us at that lunch high, and then they tried to do it again after lunch, and just couldn't do it.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely not my jam. Yeah, good
Definitely on
conversation.
that side of it at 2 tomorrow on the AI side with medicine. We're
Yeah.
always going to need people to help other people.
Yeah, medicine has little bits of robots infiltrating here and there, but they're finding that is not like an amazing system, and you have to have people taking care of people. So that,
Yeah,
yeah,
people are
there's,
always going to need people to help take care of people.
yeah,
I don't care how good robotics gets.
yeah. Robotics have a very finite ability in healthcare.
Especially right now.
Yeah, and with an aging population, the need is greater than ever for the bodies in the facilities, at least. Research fluctuates because that's the money business as much as anything with pharmaceuticals, but um, the locations will always need people. iRobot. I know, right? I think of that movie all the time, Aaron.
I think it should be required watching Terminator and iRobot. I think it should be required for everybody.
Dude, I
Put it
watched it with my
in our high school.
13-year-old.
Terminator. Wow. So dark.
Listen, people have to understand the ultimate risk. Now, personally, I think we're going to get more Star Trek than Terminator, but
I don't know. I don't know about Star Trek. I mean, that would mean that you'd have nations that would unite.
Oh, I don't think it's happening
Across.
in the next 20 years, bro. There's a war that has to be fought before Star Trek happens.
Yeah, you're probably right. Unfortunately.
Well, according to Star Trek lore, I am. I'm a dork when it comes to Star Trek.
All right, so there was a great war that broke the boundaries among all the
Oh
countries, huh?
yeah, oh yeah. There was a nuclear war that ultimately propelled humans to come together and for the Vulcans to come down and say hello.
Not gonna lie, I don't follow Star Trek as closely.
See, I always thought it was when that professor perfected the warp drive that they saw the engine signature. I thought that was it.
That's what brought the Vulcans. Yes. But the Vulcans waited 100 years before they came down. But yes, that is accurate. I had a student one time come up and tell me, Matt, I want to learn how to be a trader so I can make a lot of money. And I said, well, you and every other trader, like, what's the intention behind the money? Vader has to be my favorite Star Trek tip. Has to be.
Oh my God, same.
Han
But he
Solo's my
says,
dad.
dude, you wish Han Solo was your dad. I wish Han Solo was my dad too.
Sounds great.
You have to, Tips. You got to play with him. You got to play with him a little bit. But he says to me, he says, I want to make a lot of money so I can research how to build the warp drive. And I'm like, okay, is that possible? He's like, theoretically, yeah, anything's possible. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a good why. That's a good why. Good luck. Go on your way type stuff. Comes back to me about a week later. And he says, I changed my goal. I said, oh, really? What? And he says, I still want to make a lot of money and I still want to build a warp drive. But this time I just want to hire somebody else to build the warp drive. I'm like, oh, that's a good entrepreneur.
Oh, that makes sense.
I don't know if he ever built a warp drive. This is about 10 years ago. I think we would have heard about it probably.
One day, though. You guys, today's my psych lab.
That's right.
Oh,
10 minutes here.
Yeah.
What do you got in store for us today?
We're going to talk all about the different ways to approach your pre-market habits and routine to set yourself up for the best successful day.
Love it.
Different approaches, different things that I have done, different things that other people do, and a little bit of the nerd behind the advices and ways to structure it. So it was a suggestion a couple weeks ago, and I think it's a good topic just in case someone has some variability with that, then they can see how they want to dial it in a little bit. Waking up on time helps, for sure. Or don't wake up on time and don't trade the open, To each their own.
That is step one, Anon. That's usually step one for most people.
We're your family, Aaron. Those are good numbers.
Everything seems to be pulling back a little bit here today, except silver. It just kissing 2 cents away from the all-time. Hey, Aaron, we love you being here too. I thought that was a nasty fake out, Nacho, in the morning. I thought that was a good breakout in the morning. I thought it was going to stick. I mean, I didn't have delusions of grandeur that we were going to, run above the breakout level at 69, but I felt like we could get into, 80, 90, maybe stimp 92 on that. It didn't. It came right back down.
Not a lot of confidence in the market, that's for sure. In the afternoon session, back to the orb. Yeah,
Yeah, it's been fade down all day since then. Got a double wick at the 45 level. That's where we're approaching here on the 5-minute chart.
okay.
Buyer stepped in aggressively on both of those two tests against 68.45 as well. Yeah, that's kind of the level I'm talking about. And buyers didn't hesitate down there, Aaron. There was no pattern development. It just buyers stepped in and just got it right back up to the 55 level.
Looks like it. Puts are super juiced. Like one out the money. They're like cranked up on value right now.
Yeah, they are. Three minutes or 2 minutes, guys.
Yeah, last three. Well, two now.
Definitely the Bears didn't let up after they topped out this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Split it down. Except for silver.
Well, at the end of the day, I didn't think we were going to break out of this pattern before the Fed, and that's kind of where we're ending.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow is that first catalyst of the week.
Be very interesting to see.
I find the technical setup going into tomorrow fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it a lot. There's a lot of potential for the end second half of this week. Should be a fun power out tomorrow.
Yeah, the breakout's clean. We'll have to see if we get it. I do think the breakout's much cleaner than volatility to the downside. There's so much price action everywhere.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
There's your bell, team.
I'm going to dip out, and I'll get started in the psychology lab in just a minute down below on Discord, guys. Thanks for having me.
We'll see you over there in a sec there, Becky.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach Becky. Thank you, Coach Matt, as well, for popping in this afternoon for Power Hour.
You are more than welcome. Thoroughly enjoy every Power Hour. Team, I'm heading over to hang out with Coach Becky. Love her psychology lab. Hopefully we see you guys over there as well. Outside of that, have a wonderful day. Riz, I'll check you later, brother.
You got it. I'll see you there in class. I think I'll be popping in myself. And don't forget, viewers out there on the intrawebs, X, Kick, let's see, Twitch, and Roku TV, and I think Apple TV as well. If you guys want to catch more of Becky, then stop in the Discord, pop in. The links are in the chat below. Fantastic classwork that she's got. Trade psychology starting now. Class starts now. So get off the interwebs, get on the class, and get your learn on. Take advantage of those free courses that are being offered from all of us here at Blue Sky. And then we've also got Coach Steve coming in tomorrow and Thursday for Asia session. Also, we've got BluSky this evening trading the Asia. So for you pajama traders, don't forget to catch that as well. And of course, Coach Matt's awesome mentorship class each and every Thursday after market close. And hey, if you're looking for a discount code, chat up below. Look for it, code Rizzler. That's right. Get 30% off static and premiums. All right, team. Well, y'all have a great day. Good luck in the market. We'll see you tomorrow in the pre-market. So don't forget, I'll have those morning levels again so we can have those targets. All right. Have a great day, team. See y'all tomorrow.